Hey everybody, it's Gary Lucas. It's 10:30 Eastern Standard Time here in Manhattan, and I just switched positions. I dragged most of my pedals out to the New School to play at the Stone with Lucas Ligeti, fantastic percussionist composer. On Thursday night, trucked him all the way back here with a little assist from my friend John Go, and also Tom Brigham. Thank you very much. Oh, and Ken Hurwitz, and Caroline was with us. So we manually did that, and I just have not had a moment to reset it up over there in the other corner of this living room. I will probably get to it tomorrow. I gotta do this sooner than later. But I've been busy working away, writing a new piece for the forward, and before I start playing, I just want to direct you to this great website. It is the online, I think it's the only extant edition now. Mostly the print medium, as you know, has wound down thanks to digitization. But the forward is the oldest Jewish newspaper possibly in the world. It used to be published exclusively in Yiddish, and then it went into an English language edition, 30, 40 years ago. And one of my heroes, Isaac Bashevis Singer, the Nobel Prize winning author, Polish-Jewish guy, used to write for them. He started out in the 50s doing short pieces on this and that. And anyway, I always love his writing. Sad to say he's mainly not in print nowadays. I don't know why. Because if you do check out his many fine books, and I've read them all, at least in translation, anything that he published in his lifetime and posthumously, they're all fantastic reads. I rank him right up there with James Joyce, whose Ulysses is my favorite book. But Singer would be my all-around favorite author. Anyway, as he was published by the Forward, to me, it is quite an honor that they are publishing my work, and I'm hard at work on a new piece for them. But if you get a chance, go to their website at theforward.com and read an account of my trip to Jedwabne, Poland, for an official apology ceremony back in July 2001, on the 45th anniversary of the Jedwabne massacre of Jewish community, of which relatives of mine on my mom's side suffered a terrible fate, as most of the community, a very few were able to escape this, were herded into a barn which was set on fire. And this is not in the history of pogroms in what are also known as the bloodlands of Eastern Europe, and that includes Ukraine. Many Jewish communities suffered a similar fate, and this was a preferred style of rapid execution up to, and not including the Holocaust itself, which came around at the same time. But anyway, I digress, and I don't want to lose my faithful audience here. But the other thing I want to say is I'll dedicate this particular episode to my friend David Dalton, who sadly just passed away at the ripe old age of 80. So, I'm sorry that he's gone. He was a great guy, fantastic author who wrote many fine books, my favorite being a biography of James Dean, which captivated me when I read it, James Dean, The Mutant King, which I highly recommend. But he wrote many books. And he also contributed lyrics to me in the creation of a new song. Now, one of his other excellent books is a biography of his close friend Marianne Faithfull. And my late friend, also sadly gone, Steve Paul, who used to run the Scene Club here in New York, which you may have heard of. They used to have after-hour jams in one night of the likes of Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, folks like that. After they would finish regular gigs in town, we'd go to jam till the wee hours in the morning. Anyway, Steve Paul approached me and said, my friend David Dalton is looking to place a song with Marianne Faithfull, and he's got lyrics that I want you to check out. So he put us in touch. And David sent me a poem, more or less a poem, but, it was sort of a free verse lyrics in the form of a poem called The Lady of Shalott, which is also the title of a very famous painting. You should research this. I can't really manifest it here to show it to you, but the song is on SoundCloud, on my SoundCloud page, and I use that famous painting. And it's also a poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson, but this was David's take on what is an Arthurian legend. Well, without further ado, I will play the music that I contributed, because normally the way I work in my song collaborations, most famously with Jeff Buckley, is I would write the music first. The music always came first, and I would imagine the singer's voice on this music, sort of abstractly, but, okay, this would seem to fit the range of my friends who were going to do the singing on it. But this was done completely the opposite way, in that I was given a set of lyrics which pretty much scanned out as words on a page, but I had to modify just slightly. Anyway, I cut a demo of this. David liked it. I submitted it to Marianne through Steve Paul, and she didn't go for it. It was unlucky for us. She didn't really ever give a reason why. But anyway, I just decided I was going to do it myself. I thought it was really a good song, and all I had to do was shift the pronouns to make it so that a male protagonist was singing the song. So anyway, here's an instrumental version of The Lady of Shalott. It fit those words very, very, very closely, and I still enjoy performing that song. I would sing it for you tonight, but I'm sort of not warmed up, and I want it to sound good. But maybe soon, when I move into the other position, I have amplification, I will do a version for you. And I would refer you to the album that it's on. It's the last studio Gods and Monsters album. It's been out for a while now, called The Ordeal of Civility. And the track featured the then Gods and Monsters lineup of Ernie Brooks on bass, who's still playing with me, I think. Ernie, nice to hear from you. Billy Ficca on drums, Jason Candler on saxophone. Hi, Jason. Joe Hendel on keyboards. Jerry Harrison produced the song. I don't remember if he actually played on it. And then we had Jenny Muldaur, who's a great vocalist, doing background vocals as the Lady of Shalott herself. And I'm playing guitar, acoustic, and singing. And I think it came out really well, this track. So check it out. There's also a video out there. Maybe. It used to be. And, okay, I'll just play some more for you now. Now, I turned the air conditioning off here and opened the windows a little while ago to just reduce the low-level noise coming from that air conditioner. And it sure is swelteringly hot here in Manhattan. Very, very humid. And we've had an infestation of flying giant cockroaches, the likes of which I'd never thought I'd see in New York. But they seem to be prevalent in the last couple of years. I first encountered such creatures on the day I arrived in Taipei, Taiwan, back in 1975, at the tender age of 20-something. And, they were crawling up the wall there all of a sudden out of nowhere. And what a hideous spectacle they make. They're similar to The Plague of Locusts. If you know this film, as you know, I'm a film buff, by Terrence Malick, Days of Heaven. There's a giant plague of locusts in a Kansas wheat field that occupies like the last third of that film. And I'm reading about it the other day. They actually glued grasshoppers, which are very close in a similar look to the family of locusts. They would glue them to blades of grass to achieve certain effects in the film. They also dropped peanut husks from airplanes and helicopters to film them gracefully falling to the ground, and then they reversed the action so that if you look at the film, this plague of locusts sort of rises up out of the wheat field in an eerie way, but if you look closely at the people who are in the foreground, they're moving backwards because of this action, but not many people would notice that. But really, folks, it's peanut husks. The whole thing was a shock. Special effects, I love them. What else can I tell you? Okay, well, my friend Declan O'Rourke is here from Ireland. He's a fantastic singer-songwriter and an excellent guitarist. I saw him last night at the New Irish Arts Center on 51st Street and 11th Avenue, which is a really tremendous facility, a great theater stage, and they're doing all sorts of cool things culturally with an Irish theme. And he was imported for the week. He's playing there, actually. He must have just finished his set 50 minutes ago, but if you're in Manhattan, I urge you to go see him. He's going to be playing there tomorrow night. And he's a great, talented guy, and he happens to be Mirabile Dictu, a fan of my music, and I'm happy to know him. One of the high points of my European tour, just a month ago, I think I finished that. Boy, how time flies. Was a great gig at Wayland's in Dublin with superb Irish artists playing and singing the songs I wrote and some of Jeff's own songs. It was my tribute to Jeff Buckley, and I'm going to be doing it here in Manhattan at the Cutting Room on July 28th. That's a Thursday night, and check it out because I have a fantastic young vocalist I'm working with, Angelica Zolo, who just performed with me in LA at the Peppermint Club. Just 3 weeks ago I believe. I jumped back from Europe. I was home for a couple of days, and I went with Caroline to LA to do this show. We were staying in Riverside, California, at the Mission Inn, which is a great hang. And came into LA and played with Angelica. And so anyway, she's going to come back to New York, which is, I think she's born in LA, but New York was her home for a while, and at least when I first met her, she's a tremendous Jeff Buckley fan. What can I tell you? So she'll be singing, "Oh, Grace, Mojo Pin, Hallelujah, She is Free." We're going to do "In Him All the More," I think, is the repertoire, with her handling the vocals, and I'll be playing both acoustic and electric guitar. So that is July 20th. That's my next listed gig here in town. And anyway, I'm working hard. I'm hard at work on a new piece for the Forward, which I'm about to submit to them. But I'd like to really polish these a little bit now. My Yadvabny piece was written on the plane back, fundamentally. I mean, the first draft, coming back from the official memorial ceremony in July 2001, pre-9/11. And I've brought it back out, dusted it off, polished it over the years. That is what you will read if you go to the forward.com website. And I did have a great positive response from many, many people on this piece. But also, if you like my writing, check out numerous pieces I did over the last year for culturecatch.com. That's one word. That's run by my friend Mark Petraka. culturecatch.com. And also pleasekillme.com. They published pieces that I wrote early on in the pandemic over a couple of years, and they're sadly now defunct as an active website, but they've archived everything. And anyway, just saying, I think if you like my writing, you will enjoy these pieces. They're also on my website at GaryLucas.com. And I think that's about it. I know today it's a little short tonight, but it's awfully hot in here. And I gotta turn that air conditioning back on. See, we're just softies around here. Also, there's apparently a really good film that's on TV now that Caroline is summoning me to watch. So I'm going to wrap it up here, but I'll give a little tour while I'm here. I'll just show you the scene out the window over here. Okay. There's beautiful Hoboken off in the distance. And a bit of the Hudson River waterfront of the West Village. And, yeah. It's a lovely night, but I'm not going out. I'm hanging here. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll be back next Saturday night, same time. We'll see. I think. I mean, I may change it up though. I'm not sure. I want to get more active response from people while I'm playing live, which is why 3:00 was a good time for most of the pandemic. But there is something about playing at night too that I find inspiring. Okay, thanks for watching. Love you guys, and I'll see you next week.